should have hated this game. No, really, I did not expect to enjoy this thing as much as most critics proclaimed to, mostly because when most critics praise a game for its compelling story, I'm usually rolling my eyes and waiting for the poorly written slop to get out of the way and let me play. I'm not opposed to video games telling stories, but I like to play video games, and about a third of Max Payne 3 is cutscenes. I should have hated this game. But you know what? I didn't. In fact, I was riveted, and at first glance, there's not much separating Max Payne 3 from the countless brown and gray action games with vulgar white guys as anti-heroic protagonists. But then you get to know Max. You start to learn his world is comprised of, above all else, character. And despite all the awful things he does, slowly but surely, you start to pull for Max Payne.
Here I was, about to execute this poor bastard like some dime store angel of death. And I realized they were correct. I wouldn't know right from wrong if one of them was helping the poor and the other was banging my sister.
The latest opus from Rockstar Games, Max Payne 3, comes about a decade after the second game in the series. And obviously, a wait that long can lead to lots of expectations, both varied and outrageous, but fortunately, it feels like Max Payne 3 simply ignores them. Instead, like the man himself, it just does what it wants. And generally, that involves kicking ass. Now, the calling card of the Max Payne franchise has always been its Matrix-like gameplay. Max can dive out of a bullet's way to slow time and fire his own rounds through an entire group before landing, getting back to his feet, and shooting the straggler who was hiding under a table the whole time. That concept is back, only Rockstar's made things even more cinematic. So once you eliminate the last enemy in a group, for example, the camera automatically tracks the bullet in a violent, slow-motion display. And from there, you can just keep unloading. Oh, this is horrendous! If there's just one criticism I can make about Max Payne's gameplay, it's that the game doesn't make the same kind of progression the games it's inspired have. And despite its flaws, a game like Wet really elaborated on the slow motion concept to incorporate these addictive combo systems. And in comparison, Max Payne just feels a little conservative. Definitely more polished and refined, but also safer. Just don't tell Max I said that. Ultimately, though, you'll keep coming back to the story in Max Payne 3. This is an exemplary piece of storytelling for its medium, and not necessarily because it's a fantastic piece of writing per se, but for the way it makes you care about Max. A lot of games think they have an anti-hero people will sympathize with, but Max is one. When he's drinking and vomiting and taking pills, you kind of forgive him. At the very least, you understand why he's doing it, and you always want to see him get back up. You factor in multiplayer with a Call of Duty-style progression system, terrific graphics, perfectly solid gameplay, and of course, that rich sense of character, and it's easy to like Max Payne. I'm not personally a fan of games so heavily story-driven, but with each passing shot, both bullet and whiskey, Max Payne 3 made a believer out of me.